Space dropping everybody, and I usually play Rainbow on console, but recently I got it for my PC so I could record gameplay, just for you guys. Y'all better be grateful. And I've also changed my outro song to the one I just made. Now, I assume you've read the title, but in case you forgot, we're going to be looking at Doc and Rook today. So, let's get started. Weapons. Doc and Rook have the same weapons, they're from the same CTU after all. I like to use the MP5, but the P90 is good too. They've got the same weapons, so they tie. Gadgets. Doc has barbed wire and a bulletproof camera. It's best to take the barbed wire most of the time. The bulletproof camera just isn't that good. Rook has a deployable shield and impacts. I usually take the impacts. When it comes down to barbed wire versus impacts, I think that barbed wire is better. It's more suited towards anchoring, while impacts are more suited towards roaming. That doesn't mean that impacts don't have their uses. You can open up the wall between sight, open up some angles, but I do believe that barbed wire is overall better for anchoring. And because of that, Doc gets a point for having barbed wire. You know, I never understood why there's two different things called gadgets, the operator's gadgets and the one that the attacking and defending teams have. So from now on, I'm going to be calling the operator specific one abilities, which is what we're going to be talking about next. Abilities. In my other videos, I didn't give a lot of specific stats for operators, but this one's going to be different. Back then, I just wanted to say which one's better, but it might be difficult if you don't know what they even do in the first place. So I'm going to go over the necessary info. Now, Doc has a stim pistol that when shot gives an operator plus 40 health, including himself. Operators can also be overhealed and result in extra health that goes away after a while, specifically 1 health per second. Reviving someone when downed, including yourself, with a stim pistol will give them 75 health instead of 20, and is also faster than a normal revive. The stim does not have any projectile drop off, but it does have a little bit of travel time. Rook has 5 armor plates that can be picked up by other players. These plates will give a 20% damage reduction. If you are shot in a way that would not normally down you, you will still get downed as long as you are wearing the armor. It will also double your bleed out timer to 120 seconds, previously 60. This does not apply to headshots, which will kill you instantly. If you want more info on the down but not out state, there will be a Siege School video link talking about it and another video that talks about the dated information in the first. Now with all that info out of the way, we can move on to total damage reduction. All 3 of Doc's stims total up to 120 health gained. If this were to be used on a down player, this would go up to 55, maxing out at 165. Rook's armor blocks 20% of damage, which we can roughly translate into an extra 20 health, totaling at 100, because 20 times 5 is 100, which is less than Doc's 120, not including if he revived someone. So Doc has better total damage reduction, and he will get a point for that. Applicability. Doc has to have line of sight to use his stim on a teammate. If someone is behind a wall, they can't get your healing. On the other hand, with Rook, everyone can pick up their armor in the prep phase, so at all times Rook armor is on, and he doesn't need line of sight to help his team. So he will get a point. Down but not out. Rook's armor helps people get downed easier, instead of them being killed and potentially saving their life, but after they get revived, they just become a measly one-shot for the rest of the match. On the other hand, when Doc uses his revive, he gets an operator almost back up to full health, and I think it's better to have people revived with more health than having more people to revive, so Doc gets a point. Not sure what to call this next one, but imagine you're walking around and someone pops around a corner. As Doc, you can't say, "Oh, hold up, let me stim real quick," you probably die. But as Rook, you always have your armor with you to increase your chances of survival, so Rook gets a point for always having his armor. Winner. Overall, I like Rook better than Doc. They have similar playstyles, but in most matches, I feel myself gravitating towards Rook more. If you disagree with me, I would love for you to tell me why in the comments, and balls to the wall.